the button, making a video. Yeah, his power's still out, which is really annoying. I'm running out of daylight, and, this kind of sucks. Anyway, so, I did want to make a response video to a great text video. I mean, I really don't want to, but, the Modern Mystic had said something like it was a good video, and I just found that kind of funny. So, I guess just as a, just as a thumbing of my nose, I do a response just to point out that it's probably a piece of shit video. This whole idea of this argument that was caused because of my misery, me bringing up the word fascism, when what he was really bringing up was, I don't even know. I frankly, it's so hard to even create a fascist government. What, you have to first win a democratic election and then break the democracy by saying some segment of the population shouldn't be allowed to vote anymore, like the Jews or something. I mean, somehow you have to disqualify part of the democracy that elected you, or something like that, even though you got elected, so you really don't even need to do that. In so many ways it just doesn't make any sense. The word is just too ambiguous and useless. So anyway, so responding to it in that sense is kind of just pointless. The bottom line argument is what is the nature of human rights? And that gets to the whole morality argument. The stupid battery charger is going to make that I don't know what to do. I'll have to throw it outside. Yeah. It's just going to, it'll beep whether I can't stop it. Where the hell is the damn thing? Sorry, distraction. I'm not editing it. You'll have to just suffer with it with me. And such. Where is the stupid fucking bastard? Thing's no good anyway, pretty much. Gotten too old. One of these little things for jump starting a car. And served me well, I have to admit. But yeah, it's lived past its usefulness. Take the parts out of it. Shut up, bastard. Anyway. Sorry. So where was I? It's nice that it lets you know, but it's, you can't turn it off. That doesn't help you any. Anyway. Yeah, that's better. Anyway. So where was I? Yeah, morality. Okay, so this conversation with Thou Art That about the evolution of our understanding of what it is to be a human being, growing into, maturing into what happens when we acquire intelligence. What's the implications of intelligence? What's the function? And, I sort of just argue that intelligence is just here. We only have it because it cleans up this feeling crap that goes on. It gives the feelings something to talk to complain to. Our emotional, physical, sentient brain just whines and complains at the intelligence. It says, "Yeah, I have a problem. I'm fix it." And it's compelled to fix it. It's compelled to do something about it. I'm in love. I'm this. I'm that. Blah blah blah. And so, in discussing morality, there's no point in thinking that these are really the same entity, because it really is two people. Your crude, selfish nature, and your marvelous, fantastic, thinking intelligence. And, there really are two different mechanisms. And you don't go to the crude one and say that's where morality is defined, by the whining, selfish little prick. No, you go to the intelligence and you ask it, what is really valuable in the world? Now, that takes us to the modern mystic, because when he asks his intelligence that question, when the intelligence says, I shall now ponder the ultimate question of what is the substance of life, the quantity, the quality, the quanta of life, the Q of life, the qualia, the meaning, and he comes up with the answer, nothing, zero. It just doesn't matter. And you're just, my brain just goes, what? And in his video, there's somebody, deterministic one, very good job, just pointed out, a simple remark about we'll make the video while you're bashing your feet with a hammer, and see how that goes for you. See if it makes your brain aware of the fact that maybe this suffering thing is a huge, gigantic liability and distraction, that it does seem that it would be better if we didn't have to do things with hammers bashing our feet, if that was the reality of the circumstance. And obviously it's a metaphor, but I mean the idea of suffering is not a metaphor. The idea of pain is not a metaphor, and obviously we all, to some extent or another, to some degree or another, am blighted by it for our existence. And then that's another ethical question, is the fact that these people have to live through much different, much harsher environmental circumstances, both external, poverty, and internal, disability, debility, migraine headaches, chronic pain syndromes, whatever, some sort of diseases, lots of blights that they have to live through. And so obviously that would seem, logically, to change value equations about whether or not there's still purpose in the ambition and in the accomplishment. If you draw that short straw of suffering, brokenness, maybe you should have a louder voice in saying something like, I don't think it's a good idea to keep drawing straws. So even to that extent, the mystic has gotten kind of wishy-washy. I'm an anti-natalist if I must say so. If I must choose something, I'll choose, yes, that seems reasonable. Don't be making more of it. But just no passion, no conviction, no give a damn one way or the other almost. He doesn't mind if he wakes up as a consciousness tomorrow in Indonesia and is brainwashed to be a little sycophant to a disgusting religion, lives a debaucherously stupid, unfunctional life, and endures much horror and sorrow in the process, and that to him is okay. Consciousness should do that. That's an okay configuration of the universe, and it would be just fine if we make another 7 billion of those, or not. No, he doesn't care one way or the other, pretty much. Well, he's slightly persuaded that there's no purpose in doing that. Yeah, it might be possible that might be a lesser state to avoid, but it's only theoretically lesser. So it really doesn't matter in the end to him. Well, anyway, I don't want to. There's just no. What's the? How can you? Whatever. I'm just saying. I don't know how you could live as a conscious entity and play these games. So anyway, he took the simple smashing your feet thing and turned it into something where you cut off your toes, as if we're talking about your functionality, and how that would be important to somebody who plays soccer. We're not talking about destroying your functionality. He was talking about creating pain in your body, misery, suffering, that would not only completely absorb your consciousness, make it incapable of thinking and doing a lot of other constructive things. It would be painful. It would be an unpleasant experience to go through the pain of the healing process and the broken bones and all the rest of that stuff. It would be very unpleasant. It would be a degraded state to be in for a protracted period of time. It would be called suffering, and it would not be any fun. And it would, in every likelihood, degrade not your ability to play soccer, but it would degrade your ability to think, to make videos, coherent videos, on-subject videos, eloquent, well-constructed videos. All of that would be destroyed because of the distraction and the debilitation of your own thinking process, because you have all this noise in your brain now, this horrid, awful, repulsive noise. So, frankly, that was just a huge evasion. You just ran away from the point he was making. No one's giving you a clean out here. The argument is about suffering, not about taking away your toes. But anyway, so this is where we're standing. So we got this gray text kind of argument where all belief systems are equal, that there's somehow some validity to this, giving them their fair capacity to virally pollute and poison the pie, so to speak. The idea that we can't do the rational thing, which is recognize that this stuff is poison. It's going to, if we compromise with it and we allow it in the pie, it's going to pollute the pie and destroy it. It's going to take all the intelligence. If you compromise intelligence with stupidity, you're not going to get double intelligence. You're going to get less intelligent. You're going to get some intelligence will be marginalized. It will be degraded. The best solution will be turned into some sort of lesser solution. And if you think there's logic in that, well, I don't think there is. I think when it can be clearly recognized that no rational counter-arguments can be made, then you have the trial, you convict the philosophy of being nonsense and rubbish. You say, fine, do that in your living room, okay, but you can't do that in public anymore. That's disgusting. Keep that in private, your silly little, perverse fable story about reality. And you certainly can't brainwash a child into it. That's a molestation of their intelligence, of their consciousness, of their sentience. It's a disgusting act to deprive a brain of its capacity to do logic and be reasonable, to train it to be a rationalizing sycophant to fabology. So grade text off, slide him into the no, that won't work drawer. Okay, put him in the drawer of broken, stupid things. Okay, the junk drawer. Yeah, that's where he belongs. Matt is going to sit there and say there's some kernel of function in the basic mechanism, that it's somehow eternally the intelligence is in the universe, so therefore the universe made it, and therefore the universe knows what it's doing, and therefore this is somehow functional because we're blah blah blah, because we love and we paint pictures and we write songs, and therefore we write poetry and the little words. And what? Do they really mean shit to you people? I don't know. But anyway, let's say they do. And somehow that justifies just perpetually re-engaging this whatever you want to call this combine. This is just a combine. It just grinds up things. Really hard to do this in any kind of way that's fair or just or decent. Huge inefficiencies, huge sloppinesses. But yeah, just keep it going. Why? Because they need to. Because they have a delusion in their head that says there's some kind of reason it's here. That somehow it's a deliberate function of the universe. That because it exists, more of it should exist. They just won't acknowledge that there's some things that are shit. They're just shit, and that's what they are. And you don't need more of the shit. If you have to make matter into something, make it into diamonds or something, but don't bother making it into these sentient things who just go into the world with this selfish consumption mechanism imposed by evolution, and who bend a perfectly good intelligence into a device that just creates rationalizations to justify the ego ambitions of this organ of I want, I need, I want, I need, I want, I need, I want, I need. Why would you defend that? And that's all this mechanism is. It's a need mechanism. There's no value in need. There's no, we're back to almost the Sisyphus thing, like just do it because everybody else has been doing it. Just keep boulder pushing, because that's what we are. We're boulder pushers. So just keep making new boulder pushers? No, that's just nonsense and idiotic. And so yeah, junk drawer with that. And, this whole back to nature crap. There's nothing beautiful about nature. The attrition rates are obscene. It's horrid. There's no accomplishment in being dumb animals, chasing your little goodies. So anyway, junk drawer. And then we're back to the mystic again. Oh, it all doesn't matter how we're dressed, what we're doing, what kind of, it's all makeup. It's all just bullshit. None of it matters. Just deny the fact that your sentience produces relief, feelings of comfort and relief of burden, and feelings of crushing, imposed burden, suffering, discomfort, and that those two states are dramatically different. Being compressed and being released are entirely different sensations, and that it's better to have sentient things, if you're going to have them, in a state of release than in a state of compression. And that somehow is religion. That's just nonsense. That's just a made-up theory. That's just a contrived purpose, is to give a care about whether something's being crushed and compressed by repulsion and aversion, or being liberated by acquisition and freedom from burden and tensions and worry. So, you can't do anything with it. It's just too silly a prospect. That's the reality. The reality is, it doesn't matter how many people suffer. It doesn't matter how many people, you could just burn everybody's skin off slowly, or give everybody an ice cream cone, and somehow those are the same worlds. I mean, it's ludicrously nonsensical for that truth to be real, that it doesn't matter whether I right now have gasoline poured on me, but just enough so it takes a half an hour for it to kill me. When I'm on fire, it just burns me slowly. And let's say I'm tied on a stake and they're burning me to death, and I'm just being suffocated by the smoke first, and then my feet burn. Getting hotter and hotter, and the tissue's burning, and and I have to experience this slow progression of my body being destroyed. Or sitting in a lounge chair on a warm sunny day in a nice ocean beach front property. Same thing. How can anything logically say that's the same thing? It just doesn't make any sense. And to call it a contrivance, to see it as not the same thing, like somehow I've cheated the truth. I'm deliberately manipulating the facts. I'm perverting the trial of the evidence to come up with a theory that there's a difference between those two things, that one is good and one is suck. That's lying. It's a deliberate manipulation of the facts for me to say that. That's his theory. I'm just making it up out of nothing. Junk drawer. Alright, so maybe this is probably enough of a video. I did want to get to the imposition part of the fascism argument with gray text. I mean, I mentioned it in the other video, and I guess I'll just mention it in a few videos in this subtle way. There's nothing more fascist than this assumption that I will decide for a new consciousness. I will invest them in my optimism, in my, oh, you can win, my bullshit, my lies, my delusions of purpose and function, and to impose that on a new consciousness, to say I have the right to create them. Why? Because nature, a DNA molecule, gave me reproductive capacity. Therefore, I earned it. Because nature, a DNA molecule, through natural selection, gave me the capacity. Therefore, I earned it. The same capacity a squid has, a jellyfish has, a great white shark has, every moronic organism on this planet has, and none of them ever earned it. And yet I will claim that somehow I did earn it, that somehow I passed the right test, and now I can decide for somebody else that they should live the life that I think is worth living. Out of what? Why do I think it? Oh, because I believe in some kind of silly notion of purpose and function. Not the truth, not the facts. I don't have a rational argument. I can't write a rational statement saying why that thing should exist, but it's because I want to. Because I get to name it, and it gets to call me daddy, and somehow that makes it all okay. And that's not a fascism. That's not that imposition of your optimism, your arrogance, your pompous, unsatisfied desire, your vicariously living through something else's existence, isn't a disgusting fascism, isn't a disgusting denial of its you know, welfare rights. It's rights to be left alone, and you're trespassing with nothing more than your own arrogance as your justification, and you will point your finger at somebody else and call them fascist when you think you have the authority to do that, to impose life, to play fucking God, and you have no rational argument, none defending except I want. So we're back to want again, as if want is the definition of value. Somebody wants it, therefore it's automatically a value. Fuck that. No. What you want is rubbish. What you want is bullshit. The fact that you want is an interesting subject. That one needs to be dealt with. The problem is want. Want is a problem, not in need of a solution. The solution is don't make it. Duh. Want is a vice. Yeah. It's an encumbrance to your capacity to apply your intelligence to the world as necessary and as the world as the circumstance demands. Want just distracts your brain and creates a problem that needs resolution before you can apply your brain to doing things like logic. It's just it's obnoxious to logic, purpose and function. Damn. I really need the power to come back on. I don't want to have to deal with this. There's no rain, there's no nothing. I mean, it's going to rain, but it's not here yet. Oh, I just don't need this hassle. I mean, I don't want to go into it. I just don't want to deal with it today.